Everybody, this is Dustin, Berserker Bear. I'm here with Dave Weiss of DITRH, Deep in the Rabbit Hole YouTube channel. Check it out. First of all, I'm humbled to have you on here. Grateful. And we'll just have an interview regarding, I guess, our ideology and the nature of the realm that we live in.
Sure.
And if you want to tell people first about yourself, where to find you, and how you came about the way you look at things and see things.
I came about it kicking and screaming. I did not want to look at flat earth. Anyone that mentioned it to me, they're idiots. I banned them from our social media for life for even suggesting that I look at a flat earth video. And that's kind of where everybody is. But then I was forced to look at it. So I went in with a biased attitude to disprove it. I went in to disprove it, not to find the truth. I went in to disprove it and prove the globe. That's easy. Prove the globe, disprove flat earth, game over. Stop annoying me. Welcome to flat earth. Here we are.
And go
ahead.
What was the thing that pulled you in the most when you started breaching?
Well, I started, Mark Sargent put out his clues. Basically, same thing happened to him. He's like, wait a minute, this flat earth thing, this is crazy. This doesn't make sense. So he made a bunch of short videos called Flat Earth Clues asking, hey, how about this? How does this pressure differential work? How does this work? How does that work? It's really weird. And he expected some PhD scientist to come back and say, oh, this is how it works, dummy. I've got a degree. You're a dummy. And then he was going to walk away. But, I don't know, 6 years later, whenever it started, here we are, and no one has come up with any answers. And the answers, when they try to give an answer, it just proves that, their desperation and nonsense.
Do you find that being like a tell that it's been so, I guess, censored? And
it's not. It's not as censored as mentioning this. This thing. They'll take you right off YouTube for even quoting the Center for Disease Creation, and this one, they just hide it. They don't want you to see it, but they don't remove it. It's very strange. One day they will. But this is something that, people wake up to this. They never go back to sleep. I woke people up to the Boston event, the Connecticut school event, the marathon event in Boston. I sort of said that. And the New York event. And I called it Exposing the Big Three. I figured you wake someone up to those deceptions, they'll just wake up. And I was wrong. They just go right back to sleep. They're like, oh, well, the administration that did that, it was a bad group of people. It was it was some, piece of the government. They didn't realize what the big picture is. But you wake someone up to flat earth, forget it. There's never, look at me. I had my own company. I walked away from my own very successful company. I was doing the American dream, and I walked away from it all. I still have the American dream, but it's just a better dream, and I'm awake.
Good on you for that. Yeah, honestly, I commend what you do, and you're a big part of, from my standpoint, because I was big in astronomy, real big into astronomy, and when I guess these two things are kind of in tandem, like either your faith coming back to your faith, or I came back to my faith through this, and it was kind of at the same time my daughter was born, listening to you. Matt Long from Woketown, like Taboo Conspiracy, a bunch of
Matt's great, isn't he? His he comes from the Bible side of the fence. If anyone told me 10 years ago that I'd be doing a podcast about flat earth and my co-host would be a Bible literist, right? I'd be like, you are absolutely insane. And here I am, and Matt's fantastic. Did you catch on the app, on the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app this week? I posted a guy that did an interview with 4 people from 4 different countries about how they found got their faith back from finding flat earth. Did you watch those?
No, I didn't.
They're good. If you go into the June playlist on the app, if you click the archive button to the right of the featured video, go to June, and it's the last 5 videos, or close to the end of June, the last 5. There's a couple more days in June left, right? We're on the 28th today. So check those out, and they're great testimony. Great testimony.
I definitely will, for sure. You were one of the big things, or one of the big channels that I was watching.
Was it Owen that woke you up?
Yeah, Owen. The one video that you posted on yours when he was talking about the ellipses, it was a progression of things, because it wasn't just like one thing smack you in the face, because at first I got banned from the Bears from saying, when he was explaining the straight line on a curved surface, the whole geodesic thing and how they try to explain flight patterns. And he was really trying to, and I was coming back from my astronomy background. I'm like, I had these I have these books that I read, a bunch of books, the Universe in a Nutshell, and the Grand Design, and it's all construct when you break it down, right? So I
Right.
was just regurgitating geodesics, and I never really understood it, to be honest with you. The way they do explain it on a globe, it really doesn't make sense. To travel between the shortest place between 2 points is a straight line, but not on the globe. So yeah, he really broke the spell for me. Well, in tandem with you and Matt, and other channels like Taboo Conspiracy and like I
You know,
love Flat Earth British or not that's Tartaria.
Martin Leakey.
Yeah, that's
Martin
the name.
Leakey was a flat earther from the beginning, but he just shifted off to Tartaria, which is all part of flat Earth.
I meant
Martin
to
does great
say
work.
I meant to say Level Earth Observer.
Yeah,
Another
yeah, he's
British
great.
dude. He's a
He's
salty
great.
Brit, and I love him. He's
He's the crane operator, right? He's the guy. He's an actual crane operator.
Yeah, he either is now or he was recently retired, and he really drills it when I love listening to him. So all you guys, and my father took me to the planetarium when I was like 7. I was so big into it that I dove into it and been head first into ever since.
I love it. I was with you. You know, they brainwash kids. They make, if you, how old are your kids?
I have one little baby girl. She's 3.
Okay, so when she goes to school, one of the first worksheets is going to bring home, in first grade, is going to be the orbits of the planets and the moons and the sun, right? I mean, they start them. And before that, the books that they're reading, I bet you're reading their Goodnight Moon, right? Goodnight Moon. If she watches Sesame Street, it's globe propaganda. It's all globe programming. Now, there's some benefits. Sesame Street, they has some stuff in there. I'm not going to say it's all bad, but all of it's globe propaganda, and all of the cartoons, it's globe
Even
propaganda everywhere.
even movies,
Yeah,
right?
movies. Think about this. Universal Pictures had the in 1927, I think they had the spinning globe with the airplane flying around it, right? Well, how did they know what the globe looked like? No one's ever been up there, supposedly. And then when NASA went up and, surveyed the Earth, which is horrible, it looked just like the Universal Picture. So
Well, that's the thing.
fascinating.
It is fascinating too. The truth drops are what's cool, like because they try to release their karmic, guilt, whatever you call it, and show the truth within the lies. And a big thing that one Knick-Knack Pixar video that Matt made.
That Matt did the great one, huh?
That's one of my favorites for sure, because that really, like, you're like looking at something from close range, and then you kind of back up and you like kind of see the whole picture. And I'll tell you what, it was hard breaking that astronomy spell because of the indoctrination and the constant propaganda over and over through media, through school. And that's, so I guess pump the brakes a little bit on the school thing. We're still discussing possible homeschooling.
Oh,
But I
please.
mean, what do you think?
If you have
What
the
do you
ability,
think?
if you have the ability to homeschool your child, they will be the best child ever. All you have to do is children need to play with other children. Make sure you find some other kids for them to play with. But you'll find out, you got to teach a kid the basics. Teach them to read and write. That's fun, right? That's so easy to do. Teach them basic math. That's good, just so they can navigate. But then see what they really enjoy. And then, and don't teach them Earth is flat. Say, hey, this is what they teach over here. And this is what we think it is. What do you think? And the kids are no kid will ever pick the spinning ball.
It's funny. I was just talking to my wife about that, like, because I'm on the fence now, and I was actually fellowshipping with Matt about it because he is a Bible scholar, honestly. And I was actually looking for insight about homeschooling, and my wife and I were just discussing, like, because I was thinking of possibly if the school system that we're in, we're in the process of looking for a house to, if they're not nuts, we might see how it works and test the waters and
The thing is,
right.
Unless you're going to some magnet school, some private school where they have all amazing programs, the indoctrination is sickening. Just go look at the stuff they make them read. You remember when we were in school? I'm older than you, but we had to read 1984. What the heck was that about? It's a playbook, George Orwell's 1984. That's predictive programming. That's putting it in our minds for what's happening right now. I mean, we're long past where that book ended. And just homeschooling your kids. I know so many kids that are homeschooled, they're unschooled, where they don't even, they're not even that strict on what they do. These kids are the brightest, smartest kids. And of course, all of them are unvaccinated and, um, all of that stuff. And they're all the healthiest kids I've ever seen. Healthiest, brightest eyes, smartest. If I was hiring somebody, I would hire them. They had experience in what we were doing. When I was in high school, we were all getting ready to go to college. And it was a bunch of people that were like, I'm not going to college. I'm going to go to trade school. And I'm like, oh, you're a loser, right? They're all retired now on their yachts. Okay.
Right.
Okay. They all have amazing businesses. And, no matter what they kind of be doing, if you're a plumber, well, an electrician, that stuff never goes away. No matter what it is, if you can't flush your toilet, you need a plumber.
Skilled trade. Yeah. I remember the Bose, they had a program when I was in high school called BOCES, and you can actually leave for a couple classes and go work on cars or learn to be an electrician.
Where are those kids now? Where are those guys now, right?
Crushing. Yeah. One's a border patrol agent. One owns his own business. Another. So, and I'm still good friends with them all. So I should have done that. And hindsight's always 20/20, but it is what it is. But like skilled trades, for sure. I would recommend someone. Any younger listeners out right now, I would definitely recommend
find what you like and love it.
Trade.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the solar business. Amazing. Loved it. It was great, and it was pays really well. And I was in the business and I started my own company, a couple partners, all as well. And then I just saw what's happening in the world. The creator put this opportunity in front of me. Maybe I created it. Maybe, it's all one big creation. And I have the opportunity to walk away. I was like, I went to pay my bills one day, and the money that came in from my app was just enough to cover my bills. I said, you know what? If I do this full time, I can give more people the app. And it's not just about paying my bills. It's about getting people to learn about flat Earth. And with the censorship, the app is undisputably the best way to learn about flat Earth. Everyone has it in their pocket. People don't have a lot of time, but sometimes you're sitting on a train, sitting in traffic, or you have a few minutes, in the bathroom, whatever. And you click on the app, you click on a video, and it's there, bam, 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 information. And people just absolutely, I mean, I can't count how many people are waking up because of this. And the app isn't just me. I put the app together, but it's bringing in all the content from all of the amazing people. Right? Tomorrow, I'm featuring an app by a guy who's got 5 subscribers. He did this simple little experiment with light going through a bowl of water, and he showed how the second sun could appear. Okay. It's a 1-minute video. I'm featuring it on the app tomorrow. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Your app's awesome. If you're not familiar with his app, you can get it on the App Store, the Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app.
The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app. On Google Play, you have to watch out. There's one by the Flat Earth Society people that stole my name, stole the content. Really? Not even the content. It's horrible. The app's horrible. Get it, but just don't send me an email telling me my app sucks, because I get that all the time.
They're trying to pace you, Dave.
Yeah, no, they can't. And I have a new feature coming out on the app. I'll tell you about it in a second. But here it is. It's a one-time fee, $2.99. There's a pop-up that says, would you like to subscribe? You don't have to subscribe. Okay. It's $1 a month. But you don't have to. It's just the people that love it. People like, I'm going to subscribe because I want to putting more things in there. Here's what I'm going to put in it. I'm putting in a flat Earth. It's a it basically you have to opt in, right? You say, okay, yes, I want to. People freak out. Oh my God, it's tracking me. Yeah, you're being tracked. You're being tracked everywhere. You're on camera everywhere. Your phone's tracking you even when it's off. But you turn it on, it'll show you where other people are that have the app that have opted in. Right? You can turn it on and off at any time. You're like, you know what? I don't want it on when I'm home. Whatever. You know what? Everyone knows where you live anyway, so it doesn't matter. And the thing is, you're being tracked by the people you don't want to track you, right? No matter what, no matter where you are. They're listening to your voice. They're checking out your body, electric field.
People forget about phone books.
But this app lets you find other flat earthers. And the way I came up with it, we were talking to a young kid, and I brought up flat Earth, and the girl goes, "Yeah, I know the Earth is flat." And she worked in this little spa place, and I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Have you heard of my app?" She's like, "No." And I gifted her the app, and I said, and I'm friends with her, the owner of the place. So I was like, "Does your boss know you're a flat earther?" She goes, "Oh no." And I was like, you know that your boss is a flat earther. She's like, no way. But if they had the app every day, you could set it to say, hey, beep when somebody's within 500 meters of me that has the app. And every day it would beep when her boss came in, and they'd figure out, because your next door neighbor might be a flat earther, right? If you're in the closet, they might be in the closet, and a lot of people are afraid to bring it up. Me, I walk out, everyone knows me. So I've got it easy. But it's going to be a great thing. So you may be like out at a bar one night, or you may be like in a town and like, hey, where do I go to a bar? Flip on the app and go, hey, look, there's 5 flat earthers in this restaurant over here. I'm going to go sit by the bar, right? Bam. You instant meetups. They're going to come out of everywhere. It's going to be amazing.
That's a really, really good idea.
Yeah. And you can turn it on and off easy. Boom. Don't want to be tracked. And then also you can message them. You can say, hey, I'm at the corner of the bar, with the blue hat.
With the NASA t-shirt on.
Yeah, I'm the guy with the NASA t-shirt. Come say hello. Let's talk Spaceballs.
For those with the reservations about tracking, they have phone books that have your address and your phone number on it. People forget about that stuff. It's like,
well, the other thing is, sure, you know what, tracking's not good. I turn my phone off whenever I can. I put it in a Faraday bag, when sometimes in some places, and that's fine. It is what it is. It is what it is. If you have a cell phone, you're being tracked. Okay.
It just comes down to whether or not do you have anything that you have to hide. I mean, you know what I mean?
And here's the other thing. All of the cameras now, the cameras that are on the streets, they can see your eyes and identify you. They can facial identify you everywhere. So you don't even need a phone and you're being tracked. You can't hide.
Yeah. 1984, just like you said, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, the whole flat earth and stuff. So when you asked me initially, like flat earth, I guess I align more like, a realm earther, but the terraformer that we're on, I 100%, think for sure.
100% with you. Yeah. I believe that we live inside of toroidal field. The upward part of that toroidal field creates our dome. Below us is the opposite side of the toroidal field. That is probably a dome below us. The deepest hole ever dug, we hit an impenetrable barrier. It's like under 8 miles. And then we live in that realm in the middle. Okay. I like to call it a physical simulation. How's that?
I like it. I can get on board with that. Like I said, I identify as a realm earther. So the whole flat earther thing is, not to say that because I'm steadfast with it now for sure. And I go out there and I'll sing it. I get my buddies bust my chops, but now they're starting to get, lend a little bit more of an ear. I've been a crazy conspiracy, tinfoil hat wearing nut for a very long time, Dave. So I got
me too.
With my buddies,
it's all coming out. I mean, the difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact? 6 months to a year.
Yeah, just wait, right? Yeah,
just wait.
I agree. So I don't have a problem with it, especially because it aligns with my faith now. It's I think that what describes it the best is the Bible by the firmament, and I think it's I think that it's indestructible. I think it's regenerative system. Just as like flowing water, they say the old adage, flowing water, cleans itself. If it's not stagnant, and there goes kind of links up with the toroidal fields that are created from flowing matter and the firmament or the air that we're in. I don't buy whatsoever. A lot of this too. Crow 777, his old. I like how he puts the hard fast barrier.
Have you listened to every single Crow 777 episode?
Oh my goodness, I wish I could. No, you know what? I have the ability to be on my stuff at work, Dave, and I can hover over all my accounts. But some paywalls I can't breach.
Here's what I tell people. Go back to homeschooling for a second. If you want the smartest, most well-adjusted kid that could survive in this upcoming insanity, skip college and have them listen to Crow, 1 episode a day. That's 2 hours. You can even speed it up, make it 1 hour. Okay. Right. Listen to that every day. And then do that 5 times a week. And then at the end of the week, you have a discussion with them. Smartest, most aware, most functional kid. I would hire that kid before I'd hire any Harvard graduate, anything. So that's education. And then let them think for themselves. So my recommendation though, Crow 777, subscribe, listen to, he only puts out 1 or 2 a week. I think he puts out 2 a week now. Just listen to those. And then if you have that time, go back and listen to an old one and catch up. There's only been out of like 300, what are they, 300 something right now episodes? Something like maybe 400, whatever it is. I think there was 1 or 2 that were like, meh. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad.
I agree for sure. And that's one heck of a compliment for you to say that about Crow. And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I mean, Crow, we all learn from each other. I've been on Crow twice now or 3 times. I'm not sure. And, it's just an amazing, a journey that we're all on.
In that light, man, I could say the same thing about you from, putting me onto the way that I look at things now. So, I appreciate that. So, yeah, with the realm earth thing and the whole the hard fast barrier that Crow was talking about, and so it wasn't like there was one nexus point for me. Like you said earlier, Owen was a big key factor when he was explaining the ellipses, and it's 1 full year, and you would definitely feel the change in speed when you're on it. And they the theoretical physicists like to explain it like if you're on a moving train, you don't feel it, but you certainly do when you change speed, right? So
when you change angle, curve is acceleration. I tell people
that's indisputable. If you really distill it, that's indisputable. The hard
Right.
fast barrier, indisputable if you distill it. And if you really sit there and think about how does energy go through space from, a vacuum from 93 million miles away. And that's another thing too. I was talking to my wife. Sorry if I go off on a tangents, but a lot of people that, say are against flat earth or realm earth or whatever, they don't even know what they're defending. They don't know the distance between the sun. They don't know the revolution.
Have you been watching Austin?
Off the angle off tilt. I mean, it's
have you been watching Austin, which it gets it on Glowbusters Activism channel?
Glowbusters, they cry. I'm subbed to them, but I haven't I haven't seen them.
The Glowbusters, it's a different channel. Glowbusters Space Activism.
Oh, it's another channel entirely.
Another channel entirely.
Maybe.
Austin with it is going traveling the country for 5 months now. He was just in New York. He's up in New York City. He's in Niagara Falls. He was here with me for a couple of days. And he's going around. He has his microphone and his speaker, and he goes to public places like Union Square, Niagara Falls, and he just starts spewing truth about flat Earth. And people start listening, and people like, inevitably they all call him, "You're crazy." And he goes, "All right, I got $100 if you can answer 3 simple questions about the globe. 3 simple questions about the globe that you're defending." And the first question is, how many times does it spin in 24 hours? Doesn't get much easier than that. And so people take him up on it. And most of them get that one wrong. And if they get that one right, he says, "What's the diameter, or what's the circumference, or what's the distance to the sun?" Nope. No one in 5 months has gotten the $100. He's upped it to 200 just the other day.
Good for him.
And he's saying, "You think I'm crazy, but you don't even know anything, the most simplest things about the globe that you defend. Now, who's the crazy one?" And that's kind of working.
That's a really good one, because either people will turn off at that point, or they'll be like, "Good point," and then they'll start listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most turn off.
then you weed it out, right? It's like separating the wheat from the chaff. Like, I mean, seriously. But I think I got a notification from your team, man. Like I said, you run a tight ship, and thanks again for hosting and everything. But I think I got that notification that maybe it was from what he was doing, because they said that there was a flat earth meetup in Niagara Falls and in downtown Buffalo. It was a little bit, I had other things planned, but I would have definitely went if I wasn't busy.
Nice.
If that was him, that's cool. And maybe we'll get, if he's going to be around again, I would certainly love to.
Now, where you're in upstate New York?
Buffalo. Yeah. Buffalo.
Yeah. Oh, he's on his way to Michigan now, though. You're out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, everyone says upstate New York. It's like Western New York, man.
Why don't you we're having Flattoberfest in South Carolina in October, I think 22nd, 23rd, or 23rd and 24th, whatever the weekend is there. Gonna be amazing, and it's in South Carolina. Check it out. You can find a link to it on the app on one of the side pages or in the settings.
Okay, gravy. I'll check it out. I'm not sure if I can commit, but I will check it out. Is Matt going? Woketown?
Matt, I don't know. That's a great question. He might. Don't know. Maybe not. I'm going.
Cool. Yeah, if I can go, I'm not sure that if I can
I get
go
it.
to
You got a little kid. I get it. Life is what it is.
Yeah, man. So yeah, the realm earth, and You were a big part of it. Taboo Conspiracy, Mark Sargent, Rob Skiba,
Yep.
also. You know
Rob's
what's cool?
amazing.
What's cool about Rob is that I'm not sure if you're familiar with one of his videos that he has where it's like an
Somebody with
optical
all,
illusion
which one?
in Burnaby in Canada, where you're coming down a road
Oh,
and the building looks bigger. And maybe you were explaining it. Because Dave,
I was.
I
I
drove down that street probably. I know exactly where it is, probably 200 times.
Yeah.
My parents' neighbor has a cottage in Waynfleet, Port Colborne. Well, it's just north of Port Colborne on Bellevue Beach, Burnaby Beach,
Yeah.
next to Long Beach, and I can confirm. Even my mother would always say it. Actually, my mother was the one to point it out. This is an optical illusion. The building actually looks like it's shrinking as you're getting closer to it. It's very weird, and the way that the trees do canopy it.
We have the exact situation here where I could see Stanford Hospital, which is this giant building in the middle of nowhere, sticking out of nowhere, and it's at the end of a straight road with the trees like that. It's gigantic, and by the time you get to the end of the road, it's a tiny little dot.
It's
It,
weird.
but it's just like when you see the giant moon on the horizon. It's not giant. It's the same size as a tie. So next time there's a full moon on the horizon, you go, "Wow!" You know, every time you take a picture, you're like, "Ah, the picture doesn't look like what I'm seeing," and that's because it's an illusion. Turn around backwards, bend over, look through your legs upside down at the moon, and it's tiny. Your brain short circuits and it can't see the giant moon anymore. Just like this. These tables are the exact same size and dimension. Did you know that? Are they? And your brain can't reconcile it. It's
That's
the
crazy.
same exact size.
Wow. Okay. It's kind of similar. I forget the name of the thing where it's rotating, but it looks like it's going back and forth, and your brain can't make sense of it.
Yep.
Like the inverted face or something. It looks like it's just going back and forth, but it's actually rotating 360 degrees because it's depressed. It looks like it's just going sideways. Optical illusion. So yeah, that's a kind of an example that hits home from Rob Skiba, which I thought was unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
And through watching all your stuff, but yeah, I think that the Terra that we're on is flat, especially like the laser experiments that like, Taboo Conspiracy shows. So that was another thing that I'm like, there's no possible way that it curves away from you at 8 inches per square mile. If not only the refraction on a curved surface of water, water is always level. It's sea level, not sea curve, like you
Right.
say, right? But the laser thing, and that's another thing that I like to do. I got to ante up my game here over on in Buffalo with my camera setup. I'd like to try to do some kind of experiment like that because I have the ability to do it from like the pier.
Here's the thing, you
And
know, Ben
Raven Point.
Ben Taboo Conspiracy and others, they make it look easy. It's really difficult to do these things. One, you have to have the logistics, the cameras, the batteries, the communications. There has to be cell service. You have to have somebody at the other side. Well, that could be 40 miles away as the crow flies, but it could be 100-mile trip to get there, you know. And then when you get there, you have to have all the weather conditions to work. I mean, there's times where I cannot see New York City and it looks like it's clear out, but it's, like it's just New York City's not there. And then other days it's there clear as day. Other days it's giant. Other days it's smaller. It's all the optics of the air. It's not the curvature of the earth unless it's changing daily. But you get this whole thing set up and then the weather doesn't cooperate, then your battery runs dead or you can't point the laser in the right direction because a micro movement of the laser moves it a quarter of a mile, at a far distance.
Yeah.
Right. And when they did, when FE Core did their thing at, in what lake was that? Some lake in the north. It was supposed to be frozen at the time. And they were going, I think they were going, I don't know, it was 20 or 40 miles or whatever it was. And they had a machine that could move it like a millionth of a millimeter, right, to adjust it. It was like they built this machine so they can move it like imperceivable amounts because the far end of that laser is moving a ton.
That's good advice. It's not going to deter me though.
No, it's not meant to deter you. It's meant to like
Uh,
prepare yourself. like when you got to prepare. Sometimes you have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get there to set up the one thing, and then the other person has to be there. You really got to plan out the logistics because it's not easy.
Definitely good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the idea for it, and I know where we would, like you were saying about I noticed your comment on my video about the piers, right? So I would go to that pier, and Sturgeon Point is probably like a half-hour ride. That's what I would do from the Bird Island Pier to Sturgeon Point, and just past Lackawanna. And it's
Right.
not that far of a drive. I got some homies that might help
That's
me.
the thing that got me was the distances. I was like, okay, there has to be curvature. If we're on a ball, there has to be curvature. And then I looked it up and I was surprised at the amount of curvature that there is. 10 miles is 66 feet. I'm like, that's not what Bill Nye told me. Bill Nye told me it's
Significant.
so big that we can't see. But we can see boats go over the curvature, but it's too big to see curvature, right? Have your cake and eat it too. And so then I was kind of looking at some flat earth debunking sites, by the ball trolls, and they say, oh, no, your distance is only half that because you're halfway down the curve and the other person's halfway down the curve, therefore it's only 33 feet, not 66 feet. And I was like, that's completely totally wrong, but I'll give it to him anyway. And I went down to the beach. I looked at a buoy that was 11 miles away, rounded down to 10 to give the globe every advantage. And there was the buoy. There was the water for miles, dozens of miles beyond the buoy. So that right there said, all right, we have a problem. There's no curvature. So then we did the math to figure out, okay, if we can see these things at these distances, how big would the Earth have to be? Right now, the Earth has a diameter of just like around 4,000 miles. And I think the diameter was like 100,000 miles or something crazy. Like to see the distance that we would see on a ball that we can see, it would have to be 100,000 miles. It's insanity. When you look at the helio-nonsensical system, yeah, it's totally lunacy. And the fact that the people that don't even understand their silly model laugh at us it's pretty funny, right?
That is a great, I was going to say, what you just said about have your cake and eat it too. So they look at us and laugh or whatever. And they may have, some might even think that you close off your exploration if you don't turn to side or space anymore. And I disagree entirely. It's why I do the research that I do now. But that said, and that great image that you show behind you, I love that because that's just complete insanity to me. We don't feel that rotation. Number one, also Daniel Pratt saying that just by looking at that, by sheer numbers, we should be seeing meteors coming up from the horizon.
Right.
Has to be done. It has to be
From all directions, and it's never been seen before.
If you don't think, I mean, you got to try to think about it. I understand it's hard, but so all they do though, theoretical physicist Neil Tyson or Keku, I do get a little bit aggravated, but that aggravation turns to motivation because I was such under the spell and I was so passionate for it, right? And all ever since they were, even before they were going to find the Higgs boson at CERN, and find the Higgs field, explain why mass is given to everything, that the mass field, and then they found that, and then like, oh, but there's like 13 more that we got to find. It's like they keep on adding constructs
They move the globe post.
It's all constructs too.
They constantly do it. So check this out. So they were explaining science, scientism was explaining how they can tell the distance to some stars. And they say, well, they look at stars that are in line with each other, but one of them's farther and one of them's closer. So they look at them in like January or whatever. And so they look up and they see the stars, right? So let's say they're looking up, whatever. And then 6 months later, they're 186 million miles on the other side of the sun. And they say in that difference, sometimes the stars, because they move, there'll be some parallax, right? There'll be some parallax. So they say they can tell the difference by, hey, that closer star is now on the other side of that star, and they do some perfectly good math, and they could figure out how far that star is. Are they forgetting that the Earth moved 4.4 billion miles in the other, in another direction, and there's no parallax from that, and we've been going for ever, and the stars never change? I mean, the stars wouldn't stay the same for 5 minutes. The North Star could never, ever be in the one spot that it's in. Even if we were spinning through space, it still wouldn't happen.
That was another clincher for me too. The fact that we're traveling on that corkscrew straight going through the galaxy,
Not even
and
straight, curving, like
yeah,
corkscrewing.
through the galactic plane, as they say, up and
Yeah.
down through the
Yeah.
galactic
Yeah.
plane. Yeah. Okay. So with that, they also use the thing called the standard candle to try to get distances from these alleged these stars, right? That are a constant explosion but locked in gravity. It's a duality. It's literally a duality construct. It's a star, a nuclear explosion, a constant nuclear explosion, but it's also locked in gravity, right? It's
Why did all of the gases decide to stick into a ball and all of the rocky bits try to stick into a ball and then leave a vacuum in between? A vacuum in between. A gas ball in a vacuum. Game over. Can't
and they say
happen.
that it creates heat in the core. It creates heat and then it eventually collapses into itself to create a star or a black hole. There you go.
Cool story, bro.
How can it create heat in a vacuum? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or how can there be true story? How can there be pressure without any kind of seal? But yeah, they also use a standard candle. So they have these stars where they know it's a known brightness, right? And they use that to
Known
get
by who?
exactly. That's what I was going to say. How did they deduce that, or the fact that they can say they could tell?
They can make up anything they want. They can
And they
make
say,
up
look
anything
at
they
this,
want.
okay, and that's why it's like so. People that are coming away from astronomy and going to research, it doesn't turn off research or exploration whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it opens it up because
Right.
I believe that was like in my opinion, that's a red herring. Of course, my faith is my foundation, but it's like look here, not here type of magician's trick. And when I made that unbelievably crazy shift from believing in astronomy to now the firmament and whatever, I've done more research now. Although that's kind of hard to say, I've done a lot of astronomy research, but with my boots on the ground and Tartaria and Old World, then and it's like I get my feet on there. I could never do that with space or whatever. And these guys are like, well, write this form. Let me write this formula out, and if you can't understand it, you don't know what we're talking about. It's like put a wizard hat on, buddy, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of how it sounds.
I mean, when we study astronomy, they tell us, well, we know the sun's 93 million miles away. So now you have that to work with. You know the size of the earth. You have that to work with. And Venus is the size of the earth. And guess what? Based on all that, you can figure out all the other mumbo jumbo, but none of it's real because none of those numbers are real. Right. So, you start out with an assumption on something and then everything's based on an assumption. What is the size of the sun based on? It's based on believing that Venus is the size of Earth when it transited the sun. Well, I say Venus is the size of a basketball. Okay, maybe a beach ball.
You could even break it down right to what they say the Big Bang was from, and they call it a singularity, the primordial little atom, right?
Yeah.
And they'll even admit, Tyson will admit, Keiko will admit that and theoretically speaking, or theoretical in physics, all a singularity definition represents an unknown, whether it's the center of a black hole, because they say that their physics breaks down at the center of a black hole, right? Which is a singularity. Once you pass the event horizon, you fall to the singularity. And they say the same thing for the beginning of the Big Bang, or before the Big Bang, that it was a singularity before it was a Big Bang. But the singularity represents an unknown. So how could they even posit that? And if your whole entire construct of the Big Bang is based off of an unknown, which is a singularity, well, we have right professionally to question it all.
No, you don't. You don't have a degree. They have a degree.
Oh, how dare you?
How dare you?
And yeah, then that too.
It's just it's amazing how
that animation behind you. It's like
I used to think that was the coolest thing ever. That was shown on Carl Sagan showed that on Cosmos.
Yeah, that's what got me too. Cosmos trying to explain the Googleplex number, like a Googleplex. Yeah, that's where Google comes from. When Carl Sagan, I remember the image right now, Dave. He took a long leaf of paper and he was trying to explain how big the universe is, right? And that's the stuff that clinches you, because for people that have that fascination or that intrigue of inquiry, if you will, that stuff is fascinating. How big a star is, how far away stuff is. Can you light travels at 186,000 miles per second. It takes 100,000 years for one beam of light to transverse the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is not even the biggest galaxy. How could you even think about that? So that really clinched me. And then you got Carl Sagan trying to explain Google or a Googleplex number, and all the zeros couldn't even fit in the size of the known universe. That like really clinched me, and I was fascinated by that cosmos, the original one, Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
Um, Even to a certain extent, what Tyson was doing and Keiko and that guy Brian Cox. I listened to those guys on the toe, a lot.
Yeah.
Joe, but I just
Joe the sellout.
yeah, always lowercase the toe. I listen to a lot of informational dudes on his show. You know what I mean? But I don't appreciate what he did to Owen, and we'll just leave it at that professionally.
I don't
I
even know what he did, but I'm sure.
I wish him well.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, look at Joe. Joe was the spokesman for We Didn't Go to the Moon. He was breaking it down like no one else. He was getting huge. And all of a sudden, he took a little vacation. Then he came back. He had Neil deGrasse Tyson on. And all of a sudden, he's like, there's no way we didn't fake it. There's no way. Okay. Got a big pile of money, sold his soul for fame. And here he is. There he is. So I have zero respect for the guy. I used to listen to him. He does a good interview with some people, but he, whenever they have an agenda they need to fill, they stick the person on there. They had this thing, and he was all over it. And he is a complete and total sellout, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I did get a lot of information, and I did respect Joe a lot and I did acquire a lot of information and data from him, but I don't agree with what he's putting out now, and and I'm not against it, whatever, and even who I guess it's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I don't even want to always lowercase the toe.
Here's a little thing that talking about numbers and distances. So when you look at a 747, you got a 747 right here. Can a 747 at cruising altitude. You'd miss it if it wasn't for that contrail. We'll just call that a contrail. But you can barely see the wings, if you're looking at it, but you can't see the engines here. Okay. And people go, what are those lights we see? Those are satellites. You're believing that you're seeing a satellite, 250 times higher than this. And you're seeing something the size of an engine, and you believe you can see it. I mean, people don't think. They see a light, they go, oh, it's a satellite. I told it was a satellite. I told it it's a space station. There's all sorts of trickery. What are satellites? No idea. What is the space station when we see it? I believe it's a B-2 bomber that's been modified. Parts of it are transparent, and the rest has LED lights on the bottom, and it lights up for you to see. There's 5 of them, and they take turns circling the sky in routes where you can track them. Nothing about the space station makes any sense whatsoever. The fact that we can watch it transit the horizon from east to west for 8 minutes. Well, it's going 17,000 miles an hour. That means it went from the East Coast to the West Coast, and I saw it the whole time. How come nobody in the middle? I'm in Connecticut. How come no one in the middle of the country saw it?
Your video that you put out recently about how fast that thing was going on the track.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that was a good visual example of how fast these things are. They say.
Yeah, I like that video.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
I came home, it was hot, and I was like, I got an idea for a video. And I literally sit down and made it in like 30 minutes.
You know what? On the visual example thing, the video that the P900 takes of not just zooming in through the horizon.
Yeah.
But catching like what looks to be the sun enveloped in clouds, and what you have or what you show it, not just it's not setting, it's going away inside of, or when you have it at the high altitude dry atmosphere. That was like a clincher for me, because you got to say that unless the person is faking the video, what I'm seeing is that looks like it's enveloped in clouds. So it's not a formula, I'm not speculating here. I'm seeing with my eyes that if I believe the video is real and not doctored.
No, it's not. The raw video, Robert Forrester filmed this in Florida, and this is one of the best ones, I think. And then the sun fade out videos, I have a whole series of those that I filmed. It just shows you that light doesn't travel forever. The atmosphere becomes opaque. Somebody so I was talking to one show. They're like, well, we don't believe in flat earth because, if the earth was flat, it would never get dark. Even if you don't see the sun, there would be some leakage of light. I'm like, that's interesting. But it's not true. Over a decent distance, not even that far, no light, not even the sunlight, can push through the thickness of the atmosphere. It just becomes opaque, and people just don't understand that. But I showed it with the sun fade out video, how the sun just disappears into the thickness of the soup.
And the actual atmosphere itself, if it's got liquid or if it has water in it, acts to magnify it as it's going away, right? And
That's one of
that's
the reasons it gets bigger, and the other is, the optics of the sky are no way to prove the flat Earth, but there's even ball earthers that have done models, what we call on the personal atmospheric dome, and it's just the way that we see things render in the sky. It's because it's in our personal dome um, vision. I don't know. I don't have the right words for it, but here's an example. This is like West Coast, East Coast, and wherever this little convergence point is, that's where the person inside their dome of vision would see the sun. So right here it's nighttime, and here it's late afternoon, right? As the sun comes back, it's like noon there, now it's noon there, now it's noon there, now it's noon there. So there's
that's
noon.
cool.
That's slightly afternoon, right? Later, earlier, sun's just rising over here. And that's how we see the sun render. The real sun is outside of the firmament or within it. We're underneath it.
That's one
And
thing that's gravy because I think, did you see that footage? Well, obviously Crow with the lunar wave, but
oh
there's
yeah.
also a footage of a dude like putting a flat, maybe even you showed it, Dave, of a flat thing in water,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it makes the same pattern. So yeah, do you like if the sun is too, is the moon also? And then
So
is the lunar wave actually a firmament wave
well,
that we
I
only see
believe
it
I
as it
believe that they
passes the
filmed the
moon?
lunar wave over the sun, and I don't quote me on that, and over Jupiter. They saw it, so it is more of a firmament wave. Um, um,
Say that five times fast.
a firmament wave. Uh, but what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the moon. I believe that the moon is also a projection. Where's it coming from? Coming from outside or coming from the center of the earth? I don't know, man. It could be coming from the earth, just like a planetarium lights up the sky, sending up energy. If you watched on the app like a week or two ago, it was about a Freemason showing us. He drew a diagram of how the earth and how we see the sun, moon, and stars. And it showed the black sun underneath the center of the earth.
Okay,
So
gravy.
it's again, we live in this realm in the between. Where is everything coming from, above and below? I don't know how it works, right? We're trying to figure it out, but what we all do know for sure is we don't live on a spinning ball in a space in an infinite space vacuum. That's
Yeah,
the dumbest thing ever.
it definitely seems like that. We do not do that, and I believe that now. And we may not even figure it out, right, Dave? But trying to is way,
I
in
think
my
that's our
opinion, way more
purpose. Our
exciting.
purpose is to try to figure it out
I agree.
and just be good, and experience this incredible place that we live, and not live in fear. If everyone just got rid of their fear, stop believing in authority, and the only power that that the government, the mind control has over you is in your imagination. There's no other control they have over you.
That's 100% right. They don't do anything to you that you don't allow done to yourself, for
Yep.
sure. And fear, is one of the main kickers of that, the main motors that
Yeah.
allow them to do that and get people to do it to themselves, if you will.
Yep.
But
Yep. Yep.
knowing, I believe, knowing, uh, I guess, like they say, having faith is the start of knowledge. Believing in Most High, and I do. And to say whether that's to get other people, I'm not trying to be like a holy roller. I guess it just helped me to what I think and what I believe to truly see the nature of this realm for what it really is.
Well, when you
And
discover that we're not on a spinning space rock flying through an infinite nothingness, you understand that this place is intelligently designed. We're the center of creation, and this place was created. So wherever you go with that, the only place you can no longer go is denying a creator. So that's pretty cool.
I agree, and it doesn't close off exploration. It opens it up, and it
Right.
with
You have to just
with what
watch
I
out for religion. Religion closes you off, right? You need to have your own personal journey and figure it out. There's lots of religions that basically will close you off. I mean, think about it. Look at the Catholic Church. How come they're not discussing the real nature of the earth? You try to go to pastors and talk to them about this. Most of them won't hear you. Why is that? You have to really ask yourself. I mean, look at the Bible, page 1. Genesis. It's about the flat earth. Okay. And any pastor that can't see that, well, I'm not going to trust him with my spirituality.
We might have to point a professional finger at George LeMaitre for that one. Maybe, allegedly, could it be?
Matt Long, Woketown, and it's on under Biblical Flat Earth on the app. He's got one called Dear Pastor. Anybody that wants to send their pastor an email or bring it up, send them the Dear Pastor video, and it's Matt speaking really well about how a pastor really needs to see this, and that he's willing to talk to them if they're interested. Basically, it's one of my favorite videos that he made. So it's called Dear Pastor. It's on the Woketown channel, or you can find it on the Biblical Flat Earth button under the web button on the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
Nice. Definitely check that out. And Woketown Matt, for sure. Give him a sub and a like on his YouTube channel. Definite crusher. And yeah, it doesn't close off exploration. As a matter of fact, it allowed me to do what I do with again, like I said, with the old world research here in Buffalo. I'm not writing equations and learning math. I'm getting out when I can. I'm a full-time family man. I work from home too. I'm grateful and blessed ever since the whole corona, whatever.
Yeah.
My wife and I work at the same place, so we work from home.
Nice.
And whenever I get the chance to go out and research my city, I'm lucky to be here. I believe I'm here for a reason. It does seem like it's an older city, whatever, but it doesn't close off exploration. And the idea that you're a speck of dust or stardust flying through all blackness, take a look at it like it's like they're trying to sell you something. Keep an open mind with that. We're not necessarily trying to change your mind with this. We're just we're showing you what we see and putting it out there amongst the whole bottleneck of censorship and academia. That's really tough to get through. And I commend you for that, Dave, because you're really doing a great job with getting through that bottleneck of academia, as I like to call it.
I'm trying. It's time for it's time for everyone to, we're in the dire straits right now. The world is a little screwed up, but we're also in an amazing spot where so many people are waking up. It's just people don't have the courage right now to really say anything. So, if you've been sitting quiet, knowing this knowledge, well, now is your time. You need to start talking to people. You need to, and one of the easiest ways is gift them the app, buy the app for them, right? Give them the app and say, hey, this guy's offering 2 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe. You just have to watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. Okay. And then we'll give him 1 proof of the globe. You win 2 Bitcoins. What's that? $80,000 right now. So how could they say no to that? If they do say no to that, you might need a new friend or new family member or new spouse, whatever, no big deal.
I dare you. Yeah. So, if you were to recommend, or at least one thing for someone to look up that's having a tough time with, whether it's coming from astronomy or just, like being standoffish or completely just throwing flat earth to the wind when they hear it, or realm earth or whatever, what would you recommend, or who would you recommend? How would you tell somebody to go about looking at it in a professional way?
Yeah, it's different for each person, because some people, they're so against it that they won't watch anything more than 2 minutes, and that's where my channel DITRH, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, comes in, where I have most of my videos are well under 5 minutes. Okay. But that's just a start. If somebody is like, all right, I'm interested, show me this thing, I want to prove you wrong. Great. Will you watch an hour and a half documentary? Right. And in the app under Flat Earth Movies, Documentaries, hit that. Any one of those is good. You can't get through 1 or 2 of them without becoming a flat earther. The problem is getting somebody that thinks flat earth is stupid to actually sit down and do it. And don't just do it while you're doing other things. Sit down, put your feet up, grab your coffee, beer, tea, whatever you got, popcorn, and watch the friggin' movie. Watch it. There you go. Is that a Tatarian mug?
Well, you know what? Actually, can I say it? It's actually a Disney mug.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
You're going down.
Oh boy. Yeah, but
Good.
it does kind of look like that's why I have
Yeah.
it. Yep. Um,
Um. So so that's the thing.
bite-sized chunks. That's a good.
Bite-sized chunks, and again, my channel DITRH. Find a video you like there, like the International Space Station. Just say, hey, don't you think this is weird? How do you explain this? And they're gonna go, oh, it's all relative. You're going that speed. It's just like people don't think about it. People don't think about rocket thrust, about lifting 4 million pounds off the ground. Lifting 4 million pounds off the ground. How much thrust would it take? That thrust would destroy everything below it. But meanwhile, there's a little fence surrounding it that doesn't even shake. I mean, the fence would be atomized. Okay. But no, 4 million pounds bounces like a bouncy house because it is a bouncy house.
Right, how you say that it bounces, and then we like just had that little thought, like it looks like a balloon now or an air balloon. Now I can't get it out of my head.
It
It's
is. I
like
got a playlist called Rockets Are Balloons. Watch all those videos, and you'll realize
do
rockets are
you
balloons.
not that do you have the what's it called one, the go fast one where it actually hits the alleged firmament?
Well, so there's a lot of controversy on that one. I
Okay.
definitely think it hit something. What's funny is that one went viral. We watched it. It came out, and everyone is taking it apart. And then all of a sudden, NASA out of nowhere releases this. Hey, it's got this anti-spin despin yo-yo mechanism in it, and a video appeared out of nowhere showing you how it has this thing inside of it, and that's what made the noise and stopped it from spinning. Bullshit. Okay. I'm calling bullshit on it. And so many people fell for it. Right. But it went up. The Go Fast gave us an uninterrupted view, a side view and a down view. Unlike NASA never gives us that. But one of the amazing things is we saw the moon right here, way high in the sky. Well, the moon was over New Zealand. Okay. Now you can do some funny math and go, well, you could see it from Arizona from that height. Baloney. If you did, it would be right on the horizon. No way. There's no way it would be underneath the friggin' ball. But we saw it. So that tells you one thing: Earth is flat. We're not moving.
Yeah, and then they almost like I like to say show their hand in the cover up. It's like why, like you said, why did all of a sudden the video appeared? You know, to try to explain away what was put forth in that Go Fast video.
Yep.
Whitewash.
Yep.
Whatever. And speaking of, I mean, yeah, I don't even know. I don't know where I was going with that, but there was another video, or the other ones that are like where it seems like the rockets are skimming the actual.
Oh yeah,
firmament,
yeah. It looks like a weight. They're hitting water, right?
Yeah. Some people say that it looks like it's exhaust though, and like my father will be like, "That's just exhaust," and it's like. Those people who aren't willing to see it won't. And I guess there's confirmation bias on both sides, but at least we have some real experiments that people are doing.
You
literally.
can lead a man to knowledge, but you can't make him think.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, listen, hey, we got any final things? I gotta wrap it up.
No, I just want to say that I really appreciate you having me as a guest. I'm going to release this on my channel, but again, what you did for Flat Earth community and the Realm Earth, everything, and are still doing, keep going, because you helped me see this place and what it for really is.
And now it's your job to help other people see. Start off with your kids. Start off with your kid.
I'm gonna start reading her the Bible, Dave, when it's soon. So
there you go.
Yeah. So thanks again.
And there's some Flat Earth children's books in the app. I believe there's one by Eric Dubay, and there's some other ones coming out. Keep an eye on the books section in the app, and buy books, because guess what? This internet thing might not be here as long as we're thinking, and books are going to be the source of knowledge.
Great point. Not even buy books. Go into your parents' attic, your parents' garage, your parents' basement, your friend's basement. See if they got books laying around. That's how I coalesced my stack that I have. They're laying around. Go find them, because we don't have to rely on the internet, and it may not be around, like Dave said. So check out Dave at DITRH and get his app. He absolutely crushes.
Thanks. You can find the app is at the Android. You have to have 8.0 or higher. An iPhone, you need an iPhone 6 or better. Works on iPad. Just make sure it's by Blue Water Bay. Here, if you can scan this QR code, that's the way to go. But just make sure it's by Blue Water Bay. It's the highest rated app in both stores. So make sure you don't get the knockoff one in the Google Play Store.
There you go. Dave Weiss, DITRH. And this is Dustin Berserker Bear. We will report back. Take care.
All right, man. Thanks. Good talking to you.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock App. A dynamic new app to teach family and friends about where they actually live. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and days. The moon measures the weeks and months. The star constellations measure the seasons and years. 12/12 or 24-hour clock face, or go hands-free. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app with new added features. World Time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add your own or have the app change it to a new one automatically every time you use the app. Add a countdown to your next big date. Learn the truth about our world with the featured video of the day. Web button for additional flat Earth related features, from the mythical curve calculator all the way to Tartaria. While talking to friends, easily pull up pictures that expose the globe lie and shine light on the flat Earth truth. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth, and clean screen features. Simply click off the items you don't wish to see. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.